All right, we are back to talking sticky puck now. It's DraftKings contributor Geoff Ulrich and RotoWire's Paul Bruno. Paul, after what Toronto did to Pittsburgh last night, it's no surprise that AJ has decided to no-show today.
Well, there's more to it than that, Emerson. He made the wrong move of messing with the wrong cowboy. We had a bet on, and it's kind of like the old wrestling days where the winner stays, but the loser leaves town. So you won't be seeing AJ for a little while until I lift that self-imposed suspension. So lesson to all, stick with the stats, man. And we got the A team going today with me and Jeffrey.
I love it. Yeah, so let's get your favorite DFS and Sportsbook picks for tonight's 4-game slate. Paul, who's the best top price play in DFS?
Well, we're not talking about some of the bigger names that we talked about earlier this week, so it might come as a surprise that topping my list is Joe Pavelski, $7,700 for the veteran. He's on a tear, and he just showed off a little bit more of that skill at the All-Star game, but the guy's got 39 shots on goal and 11 points in his last 10 games, a tasty matchup against Chicago in what should be a high-scoring tilt. Jack Eichel and company were blanked their last time out, his first game of the season. I don't think that's happening again tonight. I think the Kings are in trouble tonight as Vegas rolls them, I think. Eichel, $7,400 there. And Alexander Barkov, for my money, one of the more underrated of the top players in the game, I would suggest. $7,200 his price tag, 38 shots on goal, 13 points in his last 10 games. For me, my money, he's one of the best players in the league, and he has a good matchup tonight in Minnesota.
Geoff, who are you paying up for?
Yeah, I really want to focus on that Minnesota-Florida game as well. I mean, it's got like a 6.5 goal total, and it's trending towards it's like minus 135 or something to go on the over there. So, I mean, we're expecting a lot of goals. That might be like the biggest goal total we've had all year, to be honest, between the Panthers and Wild. I love Barkov as well. He's been really producing. He's only 7,200. And like Paul alluded to, on this slate, there's not many big names to pay up for. He's got 13 points, averaging 3.8 shots on goal over his last 10 games. He's got points in like 6 straight games here. The Wild are fine, but it's not like they have a brick wall and net either. They're certainly capable of getting in shootouts. So I don't mind targeting both top lines in that game. I think you can get good value with guys like Matt Zuccarello, but I think Barkov, for my money, is really where I want to pay up tonight. Again, I mean, they have the biggest implied goal total on the slate. And I really do think this might actually be, without actually having checked, the biggest goal total we've had all year. So,
all right, Geoff, what about value? Hook us up with some value in DFS.
Yeah, so I mean, again, like you can certainly go to guys like Zuccarello. He's $6K, but if we want to get a little bit cheaper, I mean, I like Evgeny Dandanoff, the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Kings. Paul kind of alluded to this. Like the Vegas Golden Knights probably aren't going to get shut out again. The Kings have actually been pretty poor defensively too over their last 5 or 6 games. This isn't a team that's really stopped the puck much at all lately. Dandanoff playing in the top 6. He's been getting lots of opportunities. And look, he's not Mark Stone, but he's only 4,200. And when you're shooting the puck like 3 or 4 times on net and you're getting top 6 opportunity, especially on a team like Vegas, eventually the puck is going to go in. So I like taking a shot with him tonight. Again, we got a 4-game slate. And I think Dandanoff is one of those players who, he's been dry lately, but he's just going to show up with a multi-point night sooner or later. He's still very cheap. I like going to him for value.
All right, Paul, who are you going to for value?
I think that's a great call by Geoff. It was one that I had listed as well, so I won't double down on the commentary there. I'll pivot to Dylan Strome for $4,000. He's centering the top line between Patrick Kane and Brendan Hagel, 2 guys that are on the wings for the Hawks have been on fire lately. Dylan Strome's finding his groove too with 10 points in his last 10 games played, so I'll find a way to squeeze him in and balance my roster with his low price tag tonight.
Paul, what's a player prop you like tonight on the DK Sportsbook?
I'm looking at the shots on goal prop tonight, Emerson, for a few of the guys. I take the over on the 3.5 for Philip Forsberg at Carolina. First of all, the guy's got 33 shots on goal in his last 10 games played, so that's right there. But the local officials in the Hurricanes' home rink, they're pretty generous with the shot clock usage. I might even accuse them of padding stats there once in a while. Take Anze Kopitar of Los Angeles too at even money to go over 2.5 shots on goal. He's had 36 in his last 10 games, so that should be no problem in what should be a high event game. And ditto for Dadonov with his first line assignment that Geoff talked about next to Eichel. That prop says plus 125 when he goes over 2.5 shots on goal. He also has 28 shots in his last 10 games.
Geoff, player prop you like?
Yeah, I like heading to again. I think this Florida game is one you got to focus on. I feel like there's so many good like players in that game, just top to bottom offensively, that you're actually getting good value on a guy like Sam Bennett just to score a point. Bennett's minus 105 on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Again, we just need him to score a point. And you look at some of the other odds in that category. You've got guys like Reinhart, Ryan Hartman. Like they all have much lower odds than Bennett, but Bennett's almost a point per game player. He's just got a couple games without a point. But I mean, again, like we've got the Florida Panthers here. They have the highest implied team total on the slate. Bennett's got 30 points in 38 games at minus 105 just to go over 0.5 points. I really like that one. I think you might actually see this total go over. I've already talked about it, but there's a reason why it's at 6.5 and trending towards 7. You're going to see a lot of goals here. And I think there's a very good chance that Bennett just shows up with at least a point. And you're getting very good odds at minus 105 on him.
So that's clearly the goal total you're looking at, Geoff?
Well, I mean, the thing is with that goal total, I mean, we're at minus 135 to take the over. So I'm not going to bet it at minus 135. You could go on the alternate maybe and like get better odds like 7.5 or 7. But I think that there's a little bit better value to be had. I like going over in the Stars Blackhawks game. The Stars, their first line could hit this on their own, quite frankly. I mean, the Blackhawks have been brutal defensively of late. They just allowed a ton of goals to the Columbus Blue Jackets last night. Like I said, the Dallas Stars have a top 3 line just in terms of goal production. And if you look at the history between these two teams, it's actually a pretty strong trend towards the over. Each of the last 5 times Dallas has played Chicago, the over has hit. So I like that, and I like the fact you're getting plus 100 just to go over 5.5. Again, we've got a way smaller goal total, and we're getting plus odds. Give me the over on Dallas and Chicago tonight.
Yeah, that's the lowest total on this 4-game slate. Paul, where are you going?
Well, clearly we're operating in the Get It Right episode of the week. When I'm on with Geoff, that usually happens, and we're in agreement a lot, and we are in this case too. I'm with him with the call to go over the 6.5 on the alternate line. I'm expecting a high-scoring game with Dallas and Chicago there. I also say do the same thing. Head to the alternate total in Vegas against Los Angeles, as those clubs will combine for at least 7 goals tonight. I think there's going to be a few high-scoring games on the docket, but those are 2 that I'm focused on.
A puck line or money line bet here that tickles your fancy, Paul?
Yeah, I like Vegas at home, minus 1.5 to roll LA tonight for a plus 145 payout. I see this as a big mismatch. The LA Kings are not keeping anybody under wraps defensively in the last little while, and Vegas is due to explode. And Florida has the most potent offense in the league. We've talked about them ad nauseum, so no surprise that I'm taking them minus 1.5 for a plus 185 payoff. I'm surprised if that's that high, but I certainly recommend it.
Geoff, what do you think?
Yeah, it's just not really a night where I want to jump on a bunch of underdogs. I mean, the Wild at home plus 110, it's tempting, but I'm going to stay off it as well. I think the best line is the first one that Paul brought up, and that's the Vegas Golden Knights at home minus 170. Look, Max Pacioretty, he's been really slow late. That's not going to last. The Kings can't stop anyone, and the Golden Knights coming off a shutout, like in their last game, like getting shut out. It all just kind of leads to them just probably scoring 4 or 5 goals at home and like winning like 4 or 5-1. It really wouldn't shock me at all. So I think the puck line there at plus 145, if you're looking for some better odds, is fine. But I like just taking the money line straight up at minus 170. Like I think the Golden Knights should be minus 200 here. So you're getting good value at minus 170, even if the odds look shorter.